Alright gang, welcome back to our Vintage Survival here on Szpakowo. It is February. We're going to start off here by doing a little mowing. We haven't mowed in a bit, so it was past time for us to get some mowing done. Now we don't specifically need any kind of bales or anything like that for the goats right now, but you know, we definitely want to get this mowed before the harvest season and drilling season is upon us, which is literally just around the corner. Now, other than that, that's really the main thing for us to do today. We are going to sell some of the wood pallets, the wood beam pallets that we've been talking about. We are going to sell those today because we've got a couple of those that have spawned once again, which will produce us a little bit more money, which is going to be good for us. And yeah, that's the main objectives for today. We probably are going to attempt to see if we can do any other purchases of any sort, whether that's a new field or equipment or whatever it may be. Do a little maintenance work around as well for the goats and the chickens, etc. I think they're both in an okay spot, but we could certainly top them up, top up the greenhouses. I know we did that a little bit in the last episode, but we'll do that again here today. Just get them in a good spot, and then we'll see where we get to. But first things first is we got to get this mowed up. Shouldn't take us too long. It's not a huge field, and we've got quite a large mower. We'll also take a look and see if there's any kind of contract-based items maybe potentially out there for us to do. I doubt there is, but we will look at it nonetheless. And now we do have a lot of pickled lettuce, almost maxed out in the storage of the actual building. A lot of pickled lettuce. So there's probably a potential that we want to move a few of those out so we can continue to produce that between now and the next episode overnight, right? I think the problem there is going to be it's going to take us a very, very, very long time to get those loaded up to go sell them manually. I'm considering, since we are so far along in the series at this point, I'm considering the option of allowing ourselves to turn on auto selling for certain items like that when there's just so many in there that it's going to take, you know, it'd take me 30 minutes probably just to get them all loaded up. So I'm thinking about it. I don't know for sure. We're not going to sell them today, so, you know, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments if that would bother you or not. I'm sure it probably wouldn't for most people, but you never know. You never know. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Things are good here, man. Things are good. We, very, very happy with the way that this series has continued to progress here. Extremely happy with where we currently are with it. It's been a lot of fun, man. So I'm glad that we don't really have any intention of ending this series anytime soon. We're going to keep rolling because I'm having so much fun with it. And there's plenty more for us to do, right? Soon enough, as a lot of you have mentioned in the comments correctly, soon enough we will own the entire section here, and you're correct. There's not that many left. I mean, there is, but there's really not in the grand scheme of things. We've bought quite a lot of those. So I better get that a little closer to the house here. All right, so the mowing's done. We've got to get the baler out, get this thing all baled up, and yeah. Let's take a look at the animals here. Yeah, the chickens are good. They've got 3,000 grain in there. It's not a ton of food, but it should be sufficient until harvest because we don't have that many chickens, really. Goats are in great shape, really, too. They've got plenty of grass. They still have meadow grass. They're chewing through, obviously. So they really haven't touched a whole lot of the other grass, I don't think. Water, they've got a little bit more than half. So they should be fine there as well. So, yeah, everything's running smoothly, man. Everything's going well. Now, those pallets there are going to make us a lot of money, which I'm very happy about. That's going to be a big money maker for us. Man, looking at that field from over here, man, it just shows you how truly large that field has become. It was such a small field at the beginning, and now it is a large field, man. That is a big field. Now, I don't know how many more pallets we actually have in the sawmill here. I could go in the menu and look, but since we're here, let's just walk over here and see. So there's quite a few in storage, actually. There's 15,000 liters in storage. There's 15 of those in storage. I think each, well, are they each 1,000 or 2,000? I can't remember now. They're 1,000. So, yeah, there's 15 more pallets in there. So that's a lot, man. And you know, when we have a full load, we're making around 100,000. So that is a lot of money. that means we can certainly buy some more stuff today if we want to. Which I think there's a high chance we are going to. Whether it's a field or it's a piece of equipment, I think we're absolutely going to buy something. Now, I haven't looked in the used market to see if there's anything out there for us. Unfortunately, there's not really. Yeah, there's nothing out there for us, so. And we're underway. Now, contract-wise, there are a few. It's a deadwood, a wood transport, and a plowing. So we could do the plowing contract. Oops, I went way off tangent there while I was looking at the menu. We could do the plowing contract. I don't think that would be something terrible for us to do. It would be a little bit of something to do that's, you know, farming-esque for us. Absolutely, could I do the deadwood ones? Yes. We did those early on, actually, thanks to all of you in your comments. But I don't think we really need to do the deadwood anymore. It's hard for me to get all of those trees back here anyway, without utilizing a piece of equipment that's going to, you know, help us. And most of those, as we've already talked about many times, are just not within the time period of what we're looking for. So the plowing one is probably the one we will take up. It's a decent-sized field and a relatively large field, actually, but I think our plow would be fine. That's something we want to look into. We've talked about, you know, upgrading that plow a couple of times, right? There's not a whole lot out there for a bigger width than what we currently have, but that's definitely something we want to put on our radar to upgrade. That's one of the biggest things, I think, getting a larger plow than what we currently have. Now, more than likely, when we do find one, what we're going to have to do is go the approach of a typical plow, which is a little bit longer and you know, staggered a little bit versus the one we currently have. It is more difficult for sure to utilize those than the one we currently have. It takes a little bit longer to do them, but that's fine. A lot of the times we'll probably have a worker help do it for us anyway. I'm not sure how many bales we'll get out of this. We've already got, well, I guess technically 2 that could be spit out here. I would think probably not much more than that. Probably 3. Oh, the rain has started, which I don't think I even talked about that yet. Yeah, the rain was in the forecast. But luckily we're not doing any specific harvest that would require it to not be raining. You know, we can mow the grass when it rains. Might not be the best, you know, material when it's all wet like that, but you know, our grass is already mowed anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. At least for the game perspective, it's not that big of a deal. Normal life, you wouldn't really want to mow when it's raining, right? Everything gets clumped up and kills the grass because it, you know, bunches together. We'll probably spend a little bit of effort painting some of this area around the greenhouses as well. As you can see, we didn't really paint the entirety of it with that dirt, sand, gravel thing, whatever you want to call it, that I like, that we utilize pretty much everywhere. So we could do a little bit of that, but that's just a very quick touch-up job, really, more than anything. So that's not going to take that long. We're just going to get the last little bits here that were missed, and then we are done with this field, gang. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and unload this last one. That's what I kind of figured was 2 of them. Don't even think that's really worth even taking over and putting into the silage pole at this point. I think I'm just going to add this to the goats area here. Not that they need more, as we saw, but I think we're just going to add it there anyway. Alright, let's grab these 2. And then it'll be time for us to put the wood beams on the trailer and go and sell those. And we're just going to sell them where we have been selling them at the house, which somehow they still need more wood. I don't understand that one, but we know. We'll just gloss over that. We don't really care. If it allows us to sell it, we're going to sell it. All right, perfect. So we'll bring this on over here, and, you know, maybe eventually, maybe we will pull these back and put them into the silage pole or whatever if it's, you know, if we need to. But for right now, I'm fine to not worry about the small amount of extra income we would make off of this and just put them over here with the goats. So that's what we're doing. All right, that is done. So now we just got to get ourselves set up here and get all the pallets up onto the trailer. And we can go sell those and make some money, and then we'll make a decision on what we're going to do as far as purchasing more land, which I think is 100% what we're going to focus on today, is trying to buy some more land and then maybe do that contract towards the end if time permits and we want to. So let's get everything here set up. Now, I talked in the last episode, actually, about, you know, getting this new trailer here for the back of the semi, which I love. I'm super happy we purchased that. It will not be going away, but I also, you know, was talking about maybe potentially we need to, you know, get a flatbed trailer for that. The problem is all the flatbed trailers, I can't find any that are that short. That's really what we need. Anything bigger than that, this map is way too small for it. It would be impossible for us to be able to maneuver. So, that's literally the biggest I think we can possibly go with this map. So until something comes out, if something comes out, we're not going to be able to utilize the semi for anything other than whenever we've got a bunch of fields to harvest that are the same crop, which luckily enough here soon we will have, because we made a lot of canola fields this time. We made a lot of canola fields. So let's get these things on here and let's see what kind of money we get. Okay, we got more on there than I think we've ever did because I stacked that last one up on top of that. It was not the best stacking job I've ever done in my life. I had to utilize a little bit of the liftable pallet mod there to pick up those two that fell off on the edge. Now, I could have probably, you know, done it with the actual forklift itself, but you know, I didn't. So it's absolutely not my best work. But, you know, they're on there, so that's fine. At least they're on there, right? That's the most important thing. All right, let's go sell these. These are going to be a huge payday, and this thing is going to be super, super top heavy, so I got to be very, very careful with my turns here. Turn on the beacons here. Let everyone know I've got a heavy load coming through. Whew. That is my worst job I've ever done, honestly. You've seen me do it before in a time lapse, and sometimes I don't even do it in a time lapse, but that is the worst job I've ever done. Those two over there on the left, they are sticking out so far. If a car comes by, there's a chance I might smack them with it. Well, let's just hurry up and hopefully we get there without any intrusion by any cars. We might actually get away with it. We're almost there. We did. That's a miracle. There comes one. There's Byron. Of course it is. Of course it is. That was huge, man. $109,000. That's huge money. Huge money. That's awesome. We are at $161,000, gang. That's absolutely insane to me. Sorry, Walter. That was my fault. My bad, bud. My bad. That one's on me. I'll take that one. All right, we are back here. We are going to jump into the John Deere. We got to do the application of fertilizer on the grass field that we just finished. So we'll do that really quick. Drop that off. Don't need that. Go grab the fertilizer spreader over here. Might end up moving the cultivator there. I don't necessarily hate where it is, but you know, now that we've got a little bit more room to work with here, I think I'm going to move it from that area, sitting on top of that garbage pile, which I really, really wish that was a possibility to remove. Now, one other thing we've talked about, well, I guess we haven't really talked about it that much, but there's been discussion around it in the comments, and briefly, I think, from me, is maybe potentially we work to do an upgrade to the silos. There are some new silos that recently just came out on ModHub that I'm kind of interested in adding into this series and making an upgrade in that area. The silo we have, it's not that I dislike it. I do. I love it. It's awesome. But if we put in some different silos, gives us the opportunity that maybe potentially we can sell the other trailer and utilize the semi as the trailer moving forward. Because the semi right now, the only problem with it is it's going to have a hard time really being able to unload anything into our current silo, right? That's going to be the biggest problem with it. And I want to utilize the semi, right? We paid for the semi. It's been sitting there for a while. We just got another thing for it, so it actually can be utilized now. But we don't really have, you know, an option, at least not currently, that allows us to really utilize it to its full potential. So, I think what we're going to do is look into potentially doing that. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'm not sure where we're going to put the silos. That's problem number one. Problem number two is wherever we put the silos, it's going to have to be an area where there's enough room for the semi to be able to maneuver. And if we look at this area right now, this is not an area that the semi can maneuver through very easily. This is a very tight window. This is mostly for tractors and some small attachments to it. But this fence right here, it kind of, and then how close I put the goats to it, kind of plays a role in not allowing the semi to really be utilized efficiently right here. So, what does that mean? Well, if we do get rid of this silo, I'm not saying we necessarily have to, but if we do get rid of the silo, we're going to have some, we're going to have some space here where we can do some other things with it. Now, if we put down some new silos, where are we going to put them at? I haven't really figured that out yet, gang. That is something that I do not know where to put it at. You know, I've had some thoughts of maybe in this area somewhere, maybe we get rid of the silage pole and maybe we put them right there. Or, you know, maybe necessarily get rid of the silage pole isn't the right answer. Maybe we move the silage pole elsewhere. I've also thought maybe somewhere down in here. But again, that's going to be a tight, you know, turning radius, right? So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards, if we get rid of that silo there, we may also get rid of our starting barn here as well. That will open up a bunch of area here. Now, it should give us enough room for the semi to come in and turn around. We just won't be able to go past this area, obviously, but it should work, I think. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. I'm not positive that's what we're going to do, but that's kind of where I'm going with it. I will be right back. I'm going to go out to ModHub and install the one that I just recently saw that was on ModHub, and we're going to see what we can do with it. Okay, so I've got them installed here, so let's go in here and let's take a look. I think they're going to be too big, just from looking at it from the picture, after I actually went into the picture and saw it. I did download some other options as well, which we'll talk about, as long as these are not something we want to do. So these are the ones I was looking at. Really, I don't think we need more than one at 100,000 capacity. I don't think we need more than one. Maybe we want two, but oh my god, yeah, that's not going to work. That's obnoxiously large. That does not fit our aesthetic here by any means. So let's see. The other ones I installed were kind of like these lizard storage. It's kind of like a makeshift one, right? Where I can put this down, and this technically, just by itself, has 100,000 liters. I think it's meant to be. You put that down, and then you add like an extension to it, or just like a decoration to it, right? Which I think is fine. Something like this, which is an extension to it, I don't really necessarily care how much space it has at this point. You know, just as long as it looks relatively decent. So, that is definitely an option we could do, where if we removed both of these, now we would obviously be removing part of our storage space here, but I think that would be okay, because the semi could drive through here, drop it off, and then turn out. I don't know, though. Maybe not. Maybe that isn't the best idea. Maybe we should put it over here, against the other side of the wall here of the chickens, right? Where the Ford is currently. Maybe we should put it over here. That means we could drive into here. I don't know if he'd have enough room to turn around here or not, but he could go down here like we talked about before. And I think there's going to be enough room. You know what? Let's run a little test here. Let's just do some testing with this semi to truly see how much space we really need to turn. Because that's really going to be our bread and butter here on where this goes, I guess. It needs to be able to be enough room for the semi to turn. I'm going to move the Ford out of the way, too. Just put it right here for now. Alright, let's see here. It should have a relatively quick turning radius here, since it is such a small trailer here. Yeah, I mean, it can turn pretty easily here. So if it was, let's just line it up here. If it was here, would we have to go all the way down to the end? I guess it depends on where I put it at. It was there. You could easily turn and get out right there. So that's kind of giving me the idea of where I should think we should put it. Okay, so is there any other options besides this one? I thought maybe there'd be some different colored options, but maybe there isn't. Maybe there isn't. I mean, this one's probably a little bit too big. I think this is like a good size for what we're dealing with here. It's not, obnoxiously big. It is, but, like at least height-wise, it's not. Are there any other options for us down here? No, not really. Unless I've missed something. I guess we could go with these, too. It's kind of a weird-looking one, isn't it? But I guess we could go with that. This does have the option to customize. You just change the color. I kind of want this one. Maybe we kind of just make our own little setup here with all of these, right? Maybe that's what we do. Well, I'll tell you what, gang. Let me spend a little bit of time, a little bit of effort here. Let me see what I can come up with. But I think we're gonna it's either gonna be one of these or what I just showed you. We're gonna have to go with this approach. I think it's a better approach for us anyway. All right, so here's what I went with, gang. I'm okay with it. I'm relatively okay with it. I think it looks pretty good, honestly. So we went with those two, and yeah, it's in a good spot here. Now I'm adding a little bit of grass here. Just had this idea in my head. I don't know if it's going to look good or not. If it doesn't, then I wasted a little bit of money, but that's okay. I just have this idea of putting like a little bit of like a fence here on the grass in front of this to kind of like segregate this off a little bit, I guess. Let's just see what it looks like. If it doesn't look great, then we don't worry about it, I guess, anymore, right? Let's see. What does this one look like? Oh, that one's not terrible. I don't dislike that one. Now, that might make it a little difficult for me to turn. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. This might not work as well as I was hoping, but I don't really like either one of the positions there. But let's go with this one. I think that looks pretty good. Just helps add a little bit to that area, I guess, right? And then I should still have plenty of room to turn here. Yes, absolutely I do. 100%. I think I really, really like the way that turned out. That looks good. I'm happy with that. Now, we've got this silage here, which there's not a ton in there, but I think I'm going to go ahead and we're going to sell it, because why not? The first trip that we've got here with the old semi. This is going to be nice, man. Look at that. I'm happy with that. Now, I think I'm going to leave I think I'm going to leave the pole there. I was thinking about moving the silage pole, but I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't think it's really harming anything where it is. I think it's fine. Now, we do need to spend a little bit more effort here, just adding a little bit more of our gravel, dirt, whatever you want to call it, down. Just to kind of clean this up a little bit more, even. Yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. I like that, man. I think that looks really good. I've never really done anything like that, but I think I might start trying to incorporate that a little bit more moving forward to certain areas. I think that looks cool. Yeah, alright, cool. Let's go sell the silage, and then we've got 70,000 plus whatever we make out of this silage here. And, you know, that's going to produce a little bit more money for us, this is, but it's not going to be anything crazy. But then we'll kind of see what we have as far as, you know, purchasing anything else, whether it's a piece of equipment or a piece of land. We'll see what we can do with the 70 grand here. Not going to utilize all of it, but we're going to utilize a good chunk of it, hopefully. And we'll see what we come up with. Getting a little first-person view here in the semi. It's not something I normally do very often. It is super nice having this, though, because as you can see, like we can cruise if we want to. If we can get up there, we can go at 51 mile per hour at some point in this. So this is going to help us being able to transfer stuff to sell or whatever it may be a lot. This really is. This is going to make our life a lot easier and a lot faster to get things done. Now, this trailer, obviously, it's not the largest trailer in the world, right? It's around the same size as the one that we currently have, but just being able to hook it up to the semi and go at 51 mile per hour is just, it's a night and day change for us. And I think it's just better overall. That means I don't have to hold up another tractor on a trailer, right? We've got the semi that is purposely designed only for that, at least for us, right? That's the only reason we have it. So that frees up another tractor, so when we have all of this stuff that we're going to have to do at the same time, which is going to be coming very soon with all these different fields we have, you know, it frees up another tractor for us to utilize with a worker or whatever, right? So I 100% am happy with it. I don't know what we're hitting here, but we keep bumping off something. We're bouncing on something. So we've got this field here as well, which is our cornfield that we haven't done anything with, as you can see. We could plow that up. I had considered putting a worker on doing that today. But I didn't do it. So I don't know. I'm not sure if we're going to plow it up. We might just wait and drill it and then spray it at this point. So these are a couple of the fields we could purchase right here. We're just going to kind of drive this way and look at these fields while we're going through here. So we could buy these. This one actually looks like there's something in it. Yeah, cotton's growing. Okay, so we don't really necessarily want to buy that one, I don't think. But maybe we buy these two. These aren't very expensive. We could get both of those and still have money left over. I'd also talked about if we go to here, I think it's this one. Is it this one? Yeah, I had talked about this one and buying this because there's a little bit of a track right here and kind of expanding the track and making it look more legitimate like a track that we put in, and then buying this one and this 171 here and combining those two together. We talked about that as well. 71's currently a grass field. It's not a very big field, but we could do that. 26,000 and 13,000. And then that way we have a track to get to the cornfield easier. We don't have to drive all the way down here. We already have that track, I mean, but we have an easier access to it. And then it'll open up possibilities for these fields, which are a little bit, well, that one's not, but 149 is a little bit more expensive, right? 149 actually comes, does this one too? It does. I was going to say 149 actually comes with the lake back here, but I guess 148 does too. Interesting. So technically, if we wanted to, which I don't think I ever thought about, but if we wanted to, we could expand this field this way further. Remove that track, or move the track out here closer to the pond here. That's an option for us. It's not a huge expansion, but it would be a little bit extra, right? For whatever it is we put in there, it would be a little bit extra. Okay, I made my mind up. We're going to buy these two today. So we'll buy this one, and we're going to buy this one. Man, we are just expanding at such a pace, man. We've got so much. This is fantastic. And then we want this gravel here, and we're going to do the best we can here. The problem is we own this field here, so I'm a little concerned about killing some of it. I'm going to do the best I can to not, and then just actually make this a little bit more viewable of a track here, and we might expand it a little bit more to the right. We'll just see. Okay, for now, that's good. I think we're going to expand it a little bit here, gang. Nothing crazy, but a little bit. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room down here, which normally I wouldn't do, but I'm going to do that now for turning and things like that, because I think with the semi here, we're going to need a little bit more room to turn if we're going to go down this path here, which, you know, that's kind of what we're kind of aiming towards, right? And once you get a little bit further down here, you don't need it to be as wide, because you don't need as much room for the turn. Yeah, I'm okay with this for the most part. We obviously have to do a lot of touch-up work here. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to leave it as it is. We're going to have to touch this up a little bit more. But you get the point, though, right? You get where we're trying to get to here and what we're trying to get at, I guess is what I should say. This is good. This is good. We've been on a heavy kick here of trying to clean up and add tracks and things like that, right? We've been on a heavy kick of this. Add an ease of access to get to different fields, so it's not such a burden on us whenever it is time for us to go across the road here, right? We've been heavily focused on this the last couple of episodes here. All right, that's good. I'm good at that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to test it out. We're going to get into the semi here. We're going to go down there. We're going to test this out and see how it works. Now, the other field to the right there, that's a grass field of the two that we just purchased. We are going to be combining that field with this one that we just kind of took a little bit away. So it's still going to be a decent-sized field, as you can see. Plus, we already own that one, too, so we can expand even more if we want to. Yeah, this is still a tight radius here to turn. I think we're still going to have to probably think about making that a little bit wider there, because I just went across the corner there. But I think for the most part, this should work. Just maybe give ourselves a little bit more room on the corners there to go down this track. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so let's turn back around and we'll head back to the yard. We've got $33,000 remaining. I'm not sure if I will spend the rest of the $33,000 today or not. I don't know. There's a chance that I may not. If I just take a wider turn here, though, I don't think it's going to be a problem, because that's just neighbor's area, and it's just weeded stuff. Nobody's ever going to go down that way, right? Nobody's ever... It's not going to be a problem. Like, I'm not running into the neighbor's crops or anything, right? Yeah, this is good, man. This is nice. This is going to be really, really nice. And we've got this here, which is fantastic. Again, I need to make sure a wider turn. I just got to get used to that. But having this ease of access to head right back over here, this is awesome, man. This is great. I love this. Very, very, very happy with this. Oh yeah, then I can even get that, even going through that fence there, I can still get over here without really a major issue. This is great. Awesome. I know that was a bit of a shorter episode there, gang, but we are going to leave it here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate if you smash the like and subscribe button for me. Both of those things help me out an absolute ton. Thoughts, questions, comments, ideas, let me know down below. Thank you to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. There will be a member series for September. I know I'm behind. I apologize. There's been a lot of things going on with work and other things, so I haven't had the chance to get it done, but I will get it done this week for you, so you'll have a members video this week, I promise. There's a Discord down below if you're interested in that. Share your progress on anything. You get to see anything that I upload, whether it's this channel or my other channel. It's all down below. Everything you need, as always. Thanks so much for continued watching. Thanks so much for your continued support. And we'll see you next time.